Hi, Dr. Martin. So our first video cut off because we didn't have enough storage. So here's video part 2, continuation, and we're gonna try to continue best
without repeating. But if we repeat, it's
okay. Okay, so we kind of switched subjects to talking about the environment of the room, and I really liked the idea of like they had couches in their room, and I just thought that was cool because in my elementary school classrooms we never had couches, and anyway, yeah, I've never
We're laughing
seen.
because we said this already.
We said this already, so I'm kind of trying to remember what I said. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I had couches in like youth group and stuff, but I never had couches in an elementary school classroom. So I thought that was cool, especially during reading time where the teacher could read to the students and they could be comfortable, and it's almost like a home away from home that thing. Any thoughts?
It encourages the discussion, like, theme that we've been trying to get at and we've talked about in class, and that it's not just a lecture. Like, we are all involved in this conversation and we're all learning from each other, and it's not just the teacher asking questions and then answering them. Like, it really is a discussion. So yeah, couches, so good.
Yeah, and even like just the circles that they were in and all the things on the wall that helped with learning, and like everything was intentional, I thought, and everything kind of, I think they even said this, but promoted conversation and promoted discussion and thinking and stuff like that. So just even with the resources and the environment of having the sticky notes, and again, like having the choices that we talked about of the different types of books that they can choose from and the different ways that they can take notes and all that. So I thought that played a great role in helping foster a place where they feel comfortable and able to express themselves and their thoughts. So
Nice.
Okay, would you want to be in this classroom? Yes.
Yeah.
Just the way that the teacher interacted with the students. She was so personable. She was so interested in what they had to say. She just really respected them. Like, it didn't matter if they had the wrong answer. She sincerely wanted to hear from them and really wanted to be there as almost a personal tutor when she would go one-on-one and have conferences about the books they're reading and just take notes or hear them read aloud and be like, oh, check, like, you got that right. Like, I would love to have a teacher that was that like purposeful in her teaching.
Yeah, I would definitely say yes too. And I'm kind of going to the question about the community of learners. I just feel like she kind of promotes, I kind of lost my train of thought, but promotes the students each feeling supported, you know, and I feel like everyone needs support, especially kids, because they're going through a lot of transitions where they're having like having to always learn new things and stuff, and it's natural, but they need a support of being able to, they see goals they want to reach, and like they're learning the skills to get there, so it takes time and patience. And so I just felt like she created an environment, like all of the teachers, and they just showed a lot of support. I remember one just sitting next to him and was like, what can I do for you as a reader? You know, what do you need from me? How can I help you? Maybe make connections or whatever. And I just felt like the way that they conversated, the way that they taught was supportive. Not necessarily working together in the whole sense, but kind of to an aspect you felt like your teacher is helping work with you than just do this and I expect this of you. But it was kind of more, hey, let me show you, let's do it together, what's going on. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think something to answer the question, like what is valued in the classroom, is community, because every classroom that was shown was just community building, basically. They were constantly working in small groups, working with the teacher in small groups, working with each other, talking to each other, having conversations. So just one thing that is definitely valued is community, I think, and working with each other, listening to each other's opinions, and kind of hearing each other out.
Yeah. And I think learning was valued, I mean, obviously because of school, but just in the sense of like, we want to know what's going through your head. We want to track with everyone, and like we want to, keep reports and keep tracking on like where you're at and how you're growing, and let's just talk about what's going on, and let's share, and let's collect all these things, So I think when learning is the focus, then all these other things are easier. It's easier for everyone to get along and kind of work together because we're all like, we feel safe and we feel like our goal is like to grow and learn, and we're reading a book and we like it and we want to talk about it, so it makes it easier for the students kind of to talk and work together. And I didn't see, I mean, I know it was a video, so there probably was, but I didn't see a lot of like, heavy distracted or horse playing or that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know, there wasn't a lot of the classroom management was in giving them meaningful things that they felt completely engaged. You know, like the read aloud, they were all sitting there like this, and I was like, that is perfect. You know, without her having to say stop reading and say, hey, can you stop hitting your neighbor or something. You know, it was like she didn't even have to address that. So I thought that was cool too.
That's true. And with the women's suffrage whole topic thing too, again, it wasn't like pulling teeth to get them to like be part of the discussion, because she thoroughly wanted to hear what their thoughts were, and sort of had each of them just like on their own be raising their hands. Oh, like I think it's this, or I think it's voting because I read it in this book. Just showed that, wow, like I don't know, it wasn't forced at all. It was just natural conversation.
Yeah.
That was a really cool activity that they did. I really liked that because, like, I mean, I know the whole point was doing definitions of words based on context, but just like the way they did it, everybody kind of had an input. She put multiple opinions, wrote them down, and then they looked it up.
Yeah.
Like, here's what the dictionary says.
Exactly.
This is what you guys think. And then that one girl was right about it.
Exactly. I don't know if we mentioned before about the teachers not acting like they already have the knowledge, but showing how they got the knowledge. But with the question of like the types of questions the teacher asks, I thought all of them asked questions kind of more geared towards the student, like, again, what's going through your head, instead of more just like, what is the answer to this? But it's like, what do you think? And then kind of like what Dr. Martin says about guiding them. Like, yes, we want to show them the right answer, but we're guiding them to that and allowing them to express where they're at, and like getting them to, okay, just like what you were saying about the vocab. It wasn't really the right answer, but nobody felt like, I shouldn't have said that. That was stupid. You know what I mean? It was like they're expressing it, and she's like, that makes sense. I see how you got there. Okay, this is how we find the right one, but here's strategies that we can use. So I thought that was good.
So, what's the most important thing that you guys want to say about this video?
Okay, I feel inspired to comprehend what I read more. Just
Yeah.
because there is such an emphasis on not just, okay, we're going to see how fast we can get through this book, and there is a time and place where you are really making sure that you can understand the words and read through and not be stumbling across things. But just how we talked about, okay, they're pausing and they're putting questions on sticky notes, like all of that just made me realize how often I will just read something, and if you asked me to articulate it back, maybe I wouldn't be able to give as much in-depth detail as these students obviously are capable of, because of like how thoroughly they really think, and they're asking themselves, what do I need to know about this? What would I like to ask, because it hasn't been like answered yet? And it's really challenging, like personally.
Yeah. Because there's so many times in my life, because I just don't like reading. Sorry, Dr. Martin, but I don't know why I don't like it. Don't like it in school, don't like it outside school. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, there's so many times where I read, and I've read like 5 pages, and I'm like, I don't know what I read.
Yeah.
And I zone out when I read, but my eyes are still skimming the page.
Yeah.
And so, like, that was helpful, you know, not for only the classroom, but also personal life. Is like, think about what you're reading. Like, stop every couple sentences and say, what is this? What am I reading?
Oh, yeah, because that's one of the comments the students made. It was just cool that she was asking them about what they thought about their questions and stuff like that, too. But he was just like, I noticed when you as a teacher were stopping to take notes, you took your time. And I think that's a good thing to teach students, especially because usually in school it's about pressure and like, this is due then. And so it was literally teaching them how to read. And it's like, we don't rush through. We don't just try to get every word right. We are reading to understand, to comprehend, and this is how you do it, you know? So he was like, every time you gave your question value, really, you know, like, hey, I have a question, I recognize that, I'm going to stop and write that down and keep going. So I thought that was good.
Cool. Well,
I had something else to say, but I forgot. I just saw another thing that was good, important to me, is I just thought I could see the kids growing and how good of thinkers they were going to be, and just good of students they were going to be, because it was like they really were thinking at such a higher level that even people in college and high school, they struggle to get there, you know, to just think that way. So I was very excited because I'm like, I don't know how old the video is, so I don't know what they're doing now. But I was like imagining these students like now grown up and how they're able to think and communicate. And it was like they really were given great skills to empower them as they go into the world, into the workforce or whatever. But just to do bigger things than just kind of conform to the world, but really be able to transform it because they understand how to take a situation and critically think about something to figure out how to learn from that situation and use these skills. So as soon as the video started, I'm like, that's the first thing I thought. I'm like, these kids are really going to be going somewhere, you know? And it's inspiring to us as future teachers, as teacher candidates, to make sure like we're giving our students that, you know, it makes you want to learn more of how to teach the right way, so like you can give that same experience, you know, to all of our students in the future. So I thought that was cool.
It is.
Did we talk about the nature of student-teacher interactions?
I mean,
Kind of.
Kind
And
of.
all of it very personal.
mushed together.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys have questions as a result of viewing this video? I mean, one thing for me is like, especially, it's more like in my practicum, like, they have different centers and stuff that they do, and they know what to do. And so I'm just wondering, how long does it take, like, to get your students to that level? Like, does it take a week? Does it take a month? Does it take 2 months, you know, to kind of get them in the habit of,
Yeah.
like, okay, A group, B group, you go do your things, like,
Yeah.
C group meets with me first or whatever,
Yeah.
and, like, get them, like, kind of independent. I just, like, especially just with individual centers and stuff, I just wonder how long that takes to.
Yeah. I think that's why it's so good for us as teachers to be disciplined and disciplined to being disciplined, you know what I mean? Because we know it's for them and giving them that structure, but where they can still open up and be creative and learn. But then there's certain things that they know don't change. And especially depending on the school system that you're teaching in, that structure is like even more important to where they do feel safe to a degree, but some boundaries are what make students feel safe to know, hey, I know I'm gonna have a chance to talk every day. You know, we're gonna do different things every day, you know, and it kind of happens differently, but to some degree they can kind of expect that, you know, they can expect to learn, they can expect to enjoy class. So
Cool.
yes.
Well, I mean, do you guys have anything else to say?
I guess one other thought that I had is that the whole having them at different centers